I walked from Ypres to Passchendaele in the first grey days of spring, through flatland fields where life goes on, and carefree children sing, past rows of ancient tombstones where a generation lies.
Good afternoon. I'm here with Comrade Daniel Batanovich from the German Communist Party. He's visiting Ireland as the guest of the Communist Party of Ireland to speak at our annual James Connolly Memorial Lecture. Daniel will speak today in Liberty Hall to a crowded hall on the theme of First Imperialist World War from a German perspective. Daniel, first of all, welcome to Ireland on behalf of the Communist Party, and thank you very much after a long few days to agree to do a short interview with us. What is the main point that you would hope to get across to an Irish audience speaking, as say, from the perspective of German communists?
Thank you for inviting me. What I wanted to say is most important thing what we can learn is that the division of the workers' movement led to the fact that this strong workers' movement in Germany, which was supposed to be the strongest in Europe, couldn't prevent war. Although there was a potential to do that with mass strikes and as a first step against the warmongers of Germany, but England and France and all the other imperialistic nations as well. So it is important because there's an impact today for that thing, that division, cooperation with the class enemy leads to that defeat of the workers' movement in Europe. And I wanted to stress the fact that revisionism and reformism and social partnership might be a great danger as well for peace, as we could see in the time before the World War starts.
But so you would see the division of the German working class as, in fact, a central element in the way in which the First World War took place, that the working class movement was not strong enough to prevent it because it was politically divided, so it's between the revolutionary and reformist wings. There are many echoes of that in Europe today, where the revolutionary left and the working class movement is very weak historically. Social democracy, though, has suffered some defeats, is still present in several governments in Europe, and including in Ireland, and it still seems to be the handmaiden of capital. Do you think there are lessons for the working class movement in Europe today from what happened in the run-up to World War I and in the course of World War I? Are there contemporary lessons that we can learn from what happened then?
There are lessons, and it might be easy to give these lessons, but the more important thing is that we have to handle it, that workers hear that what we can say about this what happened 100 years ago. What we can see is that what social democrats are doing now in the government is a direct result of the former division 100 years ago, and they're pretending that they are working in favor of the workers, but they don't. And as at an early time, it was the same thing when the old, for example, German social democratic leaders claimed that they would do the best for the workers, but in reality they came to terms with the ruling class, and these experience at the very beginning we should never forget, because what we can see today is rather the same under changed conditions.
And I think as well, the thing today with social democracy would be very much the dominant trend in the working class movement since the defeat of socialism in Europe. But yet they have demonstrated that they don't have solutions to the problems facing working people, because basically they just act as some kind of a fringe group within the power of capitalism. They pose no challenge to the power of capitalism.
But maybe we had a social democratic period after the Second World War, because there was quite a high level of wealth in certain countries in Europe under social democratic governments. But what social democrats don't tell the people is one strong reason for that wealth, for that big welfare state we had, was the existence of socialism in Eastern Europe. And what we can see now is a total bankrupt of social democrats after the fall of the wall. They still claim that they are working parties, but they aren't. Well,
I remember very clearly at the time, 89 and 90, and whatnot, social democrats here were positively triumphant about the defeat of socialism in Europe. They say, now it's us. Now social democracy will come into its own.
Our century. Yeah.
Yes, now we will show. And all they showed was that they were the handmaiden of capitalism. And now when capitalism doesn't really need them anymore, with the defeat and demise of the Soviet and the socialist countries, there isn't really a place for them, even at the rich man's table anymore.
Their governments after 1990 were even worse in comparison to the conservative governments. Without social democratic leaded governments, there wouldn't have been in Germany the destruction of the welfare system and the war on Yugoslavia in 1990. It was an SPD-ruled government who did this.
That's right. So I'd like to thank you very much for your time, Daniel. We won't stay any longer. And best of luck in your own struggle in Germany and across Europe. Thanks. Yeah.
And at last I understood why old men cry. My mother's father walked these fields some 80 years ago. He was half the